Day number 1 of the Little League Southwest Regional here in beautiful Waco, Texas. The boys this summer are back. That's right, Lamar Little League. The boys that won it all in Waco a year ago return. And how about this? That's Merrick Coon. This thing hasn't even started and his pants are already dirty. Get after it. That's what Boerne hopes to do as they make a return appearance to Waco, Texas. And this is what all these different regions are trying to do, advance a team to get to Williamsport, playing the big one, the Little League World Series. Now here in Waco, we got 7 different squads all throughout the Southwest. Oklahoma, the only team that will not be playing in day number 1 with Connor Wanhanen. I'm Lowell Galindo. Welcome to Waco, Texas. We're so fired up to be here, especially to open up with this matchup when you consider that these are the 2 Little Leagues that have won it all here in Waco in each of the past 2 years.
Yeah, there's no easing into this tournament for these 2 teams. It's getting after it early. You're going to see some great competition. It's going to be great baseball all day today.
Lamar won it all a season ago, and then you had the boys from Boerne a year before that. Now for the boys in the pinstripes, they have outscored opponents in postseason play 100-12, yet the manager for Lamar Little League, Marcus Creation, says we are battle tested. I'm not sure how that works out with that kind of advantage on the scoreboard. And then for Boerne, especially in the state championship, it was a little more difficult, lost early to a really good team out of Lubbock, able to come back and beat that team.
Yeah, had to double dip them, and that's a tough task when you're talking about some of that adversity early on. You get a look at this Boerne team, Cason Martinez on the mound, and there's going to be a stable of good arms for this Boerne Little League. 5'6", 128 pounds. He's going to run it up into the low 70s with the fastball. Has a curveball that he can locate as well. The question always, though, Lowell, you get into this Southwest Regional tournament here, how can you handle the cameras? The lights are bright. The sun is hot today. We'll see how Cason handles it on the mound.
Texas East does have one returning player from last year's squad that went to Williamsport. It's Easton Pollard hitting in the 5 spot. Here's the leadoff man, Sheldon Tucker. He is electric. Little League Baseball, it's a continuous batting order, meaning every player on your roster gets to hit, then you have free defensive substitutions. Rodriguez gives Martin 2, 3, 4. Marcus Creation says that's as explosive as you will see with the Little League lineup.
Yeah, if you're able to get through those 3 guys, you've done some real hard work on the mound, navigating the power, some of the slug potential that this Lamar Little League lineup has.
Martinez struggling to find the zone. 3-0, assume take all the way here with Sheldon Tucker trying to get the party started for Texas East. That fires in from 46 feet away, and it's strike 1, 3-1. Play 6-inning games here on the Little League level. And that is in, and a 5-pitch walk issued from Cason Martin to Sheldon Tucker. Now here are the big bats. Antonio Rodriguez. I made the mistake of referring to him as Poppy Rodriguez, and his manager, Marcus Creation, was quick to point out, it's not Poppy, it's Big Poppy.
And how dare you forget it?
Yeah.
We'll get a chance to see him on the mound here in the bottom half of this inning, but he's just as dangerous with the bat.
And showing bunt. Tried to do a little small ball. Creation pointed out that this is a more balanced roster that can play a lot of different styles than maybe we have seen from Lamar in the past couple of years. That's in there for a strike, and it's 1-1. Martinez back on the bump and ready to deliver. That's away, and it's 2-1.
You can see the misses starting to be a little bit tighter, though. He's starting to get more comfortable on the mound here. Hasn't had the command of the strike zone early, but starting to get closer and closer.
And that one just lost the grip on it. You mentioned it, though, getting used to this environment. They played in some big stadiums with loud crowds, but with the cameras on, not something they're used to.
It's a little different. You got to get used to how your body responds to it. A little more adrenaline pumping than a normal game.
That's a walk. Also gets away from Chandler Schrammick, and it moves Sheldon Tucker up to second base. And so with nobody out, it's 2-1 for the power bat of Chase Gibbs. And this is going to lead to the first visit from Boerne Little League's manager, Greg Yost, as they get prepared to face Chase Gibbs. What do you think the message is at a moment like this?
Yeah, this is just one of encouragement. This is one to try and break up the rhythm a little bit. You know, you can see the pace of the game already through the first 10 pitches. And Martinez on the mound is, he's getting the ball rocking and firing, and this is a chance to let him catch his breath. We've talked about the stuff. Fastball into the 70s, has a breaking ball. We saw him flash it on the outside corner here in this last at bat. He's got the ability to be competitive here, but just a moment of encouragement from Greg Yost here. Settling him down. It's still a 0-0 ball game. A lot of baseball to be played here this morning.
Greg's son, Walker, starting second baseman for the All-Stars out of Boerne Little League, just north of San Antonio. Both these fan bases making about a 3-hour drive from the Houston area and the San Antonio area. 10 pitches in for Martinez. And it seems like it's that breaking ball that he's struggling to just find the command and the grip of.
Yeah, you can see it almost looks like he's just letting go of it a little bit too early. Had a good one in his last at bat, but the last two have started to leak up in the zone.
And you can see he's making that gesture with his right arm on the follow-through.
Yeah, and you'll hear coaches all the time talk about, hey, get on top of it, really get out and extend it through it. We'll see if he's able to make that little adjustment here in the first.
Good looking fastball, just misses out, and those are the calls that you need if you are Casey Martinez in a situation like this. 3-0, let's see if it's a green light for Gibbs. And 3 straight walks, as this is a very patient Texas East lineup for all the power bats. They've showed fantastic plate discipline.
Yeah, very easy to be a little bit overamped. You start chasing early, but so far taking what Martinez has given him on the mound, and now you have exactly what you want. Easton Martin, we talked about this murderer's row of the top 4 or 5 bats in this Lamar lineup. Got the bases juiced here early in the first.
Martin took a hack at it, fouled it off, 0-1. So Casey Martinez starts ahead. Easton, 12 years old, and that is an amazing nickname. East the Beast, come on now.
That's going to slide into spot number 1 here pretty quickly today.
To the right side, that will be good enough to get Lamar Little League on the board. Job well done by Easton Martin, and that allows Sheldon Tucker to score from third. It's 1-0, Lamar Little League.
You saw the run differential early. You cannot luck into outscoring opponents 100-12 in your postseason play. Manufacturing one here early was a nice job by Walker Yost at second base to range over into the hole and make that play, but still some runners out there for Lamar.
And check this out, Rodriguez scoring from third base. Big Poppy motoring home. And it's 2-0.
That's not just all power for Big Poppy. He can read him on the bases as well and get home. Couple of runs in here in the last couple of pitches.
Fleet of foot, huh?
It's the complete package.
So Easton Pollard, the lone returner from last year's squad that was coached by his dad, Justin Pollard. And Easton, with physical growth and skill-wise as well, as he was hitting near the bottom of the order for Texas East a season ago, but has now moved up to the 5 spot. Starting catcher for Lamar Little League. Rocket to right field. On it is Anders Paulson. And the runner will have to check up from third base, Chase Gibbs. And a momentary coaching point over at third base in terms of reading that ball.
Yeah, one of those coaching moments early at less than 2 outs and you're on third base. You can see the conversation going on over there. Ball up in the air like that to the outfield. Your first reaction has to be back to third base, trying to tag up and score. Would have been a good play at the plate with the depth of that one, but not only are these kids having fun out here and competing, they're also continuing to learn the game, and one of those moments here early.
And that's also one of those deals where Chase Gibbs knows that, but stuff starts moving so fast when you get into this type of environment. They know what's on the line, and especially playing for Lamar, they know the history of this program. It is going to Williamsport.
Yeah, you settle in and it starts to become the same game, right? The bases are the same distance, the mound is the same distance apart. The stakes just a little bit more than your normal all-star game.
1-1 to Lincoln Dubé up the middle, and a fantastic snag by Martinez over to first base. Martinez is able to settle down with those early walks, setting up Lamar Little League to strike first and get 2 on the board. No hits for Texas East in the top of the first inning, but 3 straight walks to start things off. Able to scratch 2 across and give the boys the pinstripes the 2-0 lead. The Pins for the wins. And Big Papi, who hustled home from third base on a wild pitch and scored, now gets a start on the bump.
Yeah, I'm surprised we even need to put his favorite player up with that nickname, David Ortiz. But Big Papi, we talked about what Antonio Rodriguez can do at the plate. Saw him come home on the pass ball, the good read from third base. But one of the better arms for this Lamar staff as well. We'll see how he handles this Boerne offense. They come to the plate for the first time.
12 dudes in the lineup for the All-Stars from Boerne Little League, and there is the table setter, Case Yarbrough. Fantastic at shortstop, and a guy that can really get some energy going in this Boerne lineup. Day number 1 here in Waco, Texas. Tuesday, we will crown a champ and send the team to Williamsport. Boerne was there 2 years ago. Lamar Little League there last season. These are the 2 teams in this Southwest Regional that most frequently win the title and advance to Williamsport. Make no mistake about it, state of Texas, it's a baseball powerhouse.
Yeah, we're very proud of it.
Yes. Off the cap, and it's 1-2.
Right, you see already Rodriguez mixing it up on the mound, and not purely just a power guy. Can buzz the fastball up, but have seen him start to be even crafty through these first few pitches. You've got to be on your toes in the box for Yarbrough.
That's down, and it's 2-2. Solid crowd on hand. Remember last year, the crowd that we had for the opener when Lamar played and beat Midway from right here in Waco. That was nuts. Yarbrough down on strikes. There's number 1 for Big Papi.
A great start for Rodriguez on the mound, and talked about him moving the ball in and out. Goes elevated with a fastball here. As you described, Case Yarbrough is a table setter. He is just that for this Boerne team, and always big to start with the first out, but a punch out for out number 1 for Antonio Rodriguez.
Here's the manager's son, Walker Yost, stepping in. He is a big Saved by the Bell fan, which I did not think this generation would embrace or even have access to. But his pops, Greg Yost, has tried to keep the programming of the Yost family household as family friendly as possible, and so figured that you know, Saved by the Bell would be the show to get his kids attached to. And Walker's big sister first started watching it and passed down that love of Saved by the Bell and Zach Morris to Walker.
Well, there's a reason why the phrase is play the hits, right? That's
3-0. And there for a strike. Yost right back off Easton Pollard in that gear. Easton Pollard, my man, is looking slick behind the plate.
I'll tell you what, these guys have way more style than anything that we ever have back in the day, no question.
Did you want black cleats or white cleats? That's basically what it was like.
Yeah, and you had to earn the white ones.
Oh, yeah. You had to run if you wanted to wear the white cleats. But then, you know, you talk to like my dad when he was growing up, they only had white cleats. So everybody wanted the black cleats then. Here's Yost. He's on board.
A really nice at bat by Walker. Yost have a strike call on a 3-0 count that maybe you think is down and out, foul off a couple of pitches there, but still then leave one that's relatively close. Get yourself to first base here with one out in the first inning.
Merritt Cood, the most power on the team, and this is the guy that we saw off the top of the broadcast that was dirty before the game even started. Pollard keeps that one in front of him. Also a slick defensive shortstop, or excuse me, catcher to go along with that slick gear. Texas West chasing two early. Tight zone. That's a ball. Merritt's favorite athlete, Kyle Schwarber. He's got the most juice on this Boerne Little League squad. Fences 225 all the way around. So deeper fences at this level of play for Little League. We only had one home run over the fence in this regional a season ago.
And that was hard to believe. You got so many big bats in the Southwest region. You talk about Cood at the plate. He's got 6 home runs in his all-star season so far.
In there for a strike. Trying to stay away from the barrel of Merritt Cood. Pierre Garrett's count here. And that is through the glove and into shallow right field, and that was a smoke show off the bat of Merritt Cood.
You get a real good look at the strength of Cood at the plate. Here, you see this pitch is just middle out. Able to line this one the other way. Really tough play over at second base for Sheldon Tucker. Just not able to cleanly corral it. That's all it takes for Cood to reach first, and just like that, a couple of men on, tying runs on base in the first inning. We said there's no easing into this tournament with these two teams, though, and they're proven to be just as good as advertised.
And you love to see that. That's Justin Pollard. He's the assistant coach. He was the manager of this team a year ago, and he goes right up to his second baseman, Sheldon Tucker, and there's the fist pound right there saying, we got you. It's all good. That stuff's going to happen. And by the way, that ball was hot off the barrel.
Yeah, those are ones that are even tough to practice. Is coming off of a right-handed bat like that, it's going to be spinning away from you. Knocked it down. You kept the runners in a forced situation all around. Can we go back to work and get a couple outs, keep our 2-run lead?
Huge moment for Case Greco. Very difficult to win any tournament, especially this one, when you drop game number 1. That's a slow roller and a fantastic recovery there from Sheldon Tucker to come up on that ball and make the play for the out. I'm sure that will slow the heart rate a little bit.
And that's the beautiful thing about the game of baseball, right? You're going to get another opportunity, and just a pitch or two after the hard smash back to you that you can't corral cleanly, you're able to come up, you navigate Merrick-Coot, who's running right across your face, make the play, and get to 2 outs in the inning.
Casey Martinez, the starting pitcher for Boerne Little League, trying to help his own cause. Pounds the barrel of his bright orange bat, adjusts the helmet, and gets ready to go to work. Big cut, up and in, Big Poppy with the strike.
He's had a lot of success running that fastball up and in here in this first inning. If this at-bat continues along, I wouldn't be surprised to see him try and go back to it later on.
What is it about that location?
It just looks so good coming out of the hand. It's a hard pitch to lay off because it's right at your eye level, and you hear that all the time. You talk about, especially with young pitchers, hey, change their eye level. You see some pitches down, you know, just like this now. You go 0-2, you had him out in front with soft. If you're going to go back to it, this is not a bad time to do it. You're up in the count 0-2. If you miss high, it's just ball 1.
Fastball down the heart of the plate. That's just a straight up challenge right there. Come and get it. Choking up on the bat here. The 0-2 count to Casey Martinez. 2-1. Texas West, the Boerne Little League All-Stars trying to get on the board. And there it is, up and in and by you. Big Poppy has scored a run and has racked up a couple of strikeouts as well. Good start for him.
Couple of punch outs for Big Poppy, and there it is, 2-0 Texas East.
Just getting started with about a week of baseball here in Waco, Texas for the Little League Southwest Regional. The winner is going to advance to Williamsport. Logalindo with Connor Wanhanen. Some blue bloods of Little League ball here in Waco. Tulsa National, they'll have today off and will open tomorrow. They've been here 17 times. Eastdale out of New Mexico. We'll see them coming up in our next game. 9th appearance in Waco. And Lamar from the Houston area, their 6th appearance. They won it all here in Waco a season ago to make it all the way to Williamsport. Boerne did that 2 years ago. And the boys from Boerne are back. Brooks Yeager leading off. The small but mighty and swift-footed center fielder for Marcus Creation and the Lamar Little League All-Stars. He is the fastest player on the team. That is a nasty pitch, and it's 0-2. You can even see Brooks Yeager agreeing.
Yeah, if you played the game at all, we've all been there. We have all been there in the box.
Like, what am I supposed to do? What do I do with that?
It's the best. Walk back into the dugout. Hey, what'd you see? Well, 99 on the black.
Here's the 0-2. Martinez looks like he's starting to settle in after probably dealing with a lot of different emotions on the mound to open up.
What a great sign for this Boerne Little League. You have Casey Martinez talked about the stuff, the fastball up into the 70s, which is a big mile marker here at this age group. But you see him settle in here, a couple of fastballs in the zone, and he had that breaking ball working in this at bat. Really nice job to start this second inning.
Here's Madden Creation. His pops, Marcus, down the first baseline. An imposing figure, as a former defensive end should be. That's right. His dad, Marcus, former defensive end for Bob Stoops and Boomer Sooner, won a natty on that team with Josh Heupel back in 2000. Here's the 1-0 to Madden. Strike one. There's Pops. Yeah. Madden's going to fill out. Not sure if he's a shortstop or a defensive end or a third baseman, but he's got a future on a playing surface somewhere.
Well, 13 family members have played Division I baseball over the last decade in the Creation family.
That will work. Just short. Yarbrough bobbles it, recovers, but not in time. And the wheels of the Mad Dog, Madden Creation, wins that one.
Now, this is the best of the best in the Southwest region, and the margins are going to be very small. Even the littlest bobble like this is going to be all it takes for these runners to take that extra base. And it's Creation getting himself to first base. Another man on for Lamar here.
Landon Alvarez looks at ball one. Nicknamed Sweet Boy Landon. The snapback throw, and a good one from Chandler Schrammick. It's not in time. Paying a lot of attention to Madden Creation over there. 2-0 lead for Texas East, represented by Lamar Little League. And you see the aggressive secondary lead. And Little League, the runner cannot leave the base until the pitch has arrived at the batter. So not a ton of steals, although the more aggressive base running teams will push the envelope. There's a walk issue to Alvarez, and once again, Lamar has 2 on, something brewing.
You talked about the rule as far as when hitters can leave their base. It makes the traditional stolen base a little bit tougher, but you see teams like this that like to push that envelope. They like the chaos on the base path. You'll see some delays. You'll see some action moving around, and especially in talking to these coaches this week heading up to the tournament, it's something you think you're going to see.
And so the change is made. Greg Yost going to the bump, and this is in part to also preserve Casey Martinez for later in the tournament. And so with his pitch count at 35, that will require him to only need a 1-day rest before he can return to the mound for Boerne Little League. The new pitcher is Boone Blaylock. And managing pitching is the art and science of managing a Little League All-Star squad. It is very difficult.
Very difficult to do because you get caught up in the fray of the game. And you've got to make sure, hey, if we understand that Martinez is up to 35 pitches and we want to preserve that 1 day of rest that he's got, we're going to make this move now. You see Boone Blaylock getting loose right now, and he's part of this stable of a pitching staff that Greg Yost has at his disposal. Another one of those guys that you're going to see a fastball around 70 miles an hour, can spin a breaking ball up. The Corey Seager fan takes the ball here in the second inning with a couple of men on.
Now pitching for Texas West, number 8, Boone Blaylock.
So a 2-0 lead for Texas East. Lamar Little League won it all a season ago. trying to add to this edge as Lucas Castellanos is the batter. 2 on, 1 out. First pitch swinging, that just runs away from the barrel at the last moment. Castellanos, AKA Quesadilla. And that is down, and what a jump from Madden Creation as both Creation and Alvarez move up 60 feet.
Yeah, this is exactly what we were talking about just a moment ago. You've got to be able to take those extra bases when you have the small chance. And even the littlest ball in the dirt opportunity that you have. You see Madden Creation take off, and now 2 more in scoring position for Texas East.
One, 2. That's up, and it's 2-2 for Boone Blaylock, who's just entered the game in relief from Casey Martinez. The caveat to the pitch count rules here in Little League play is you cannot pitch in 3 straight days. That is regardless of what your pitch count is. You can go up to 20 and return to pitch the next day. And that is chopped to the right side, goes to first. Lamar adds another, and it's set up with a fantastic read of the ball in the dirt by Madden Creation. 3-0, Texas East. So if you clip 66, requires 4 days rest. That 1 to 20 threshold does not require a day's rest, and we just saw Casey Martinez in that second threshold, so he will require 1 day of rest before he can return. And if Boerne can get some dubs, he is the type of pitcher that they would like to bring back later.
Yeah, and you just have the feel too that a second time out for him, he'd feel immensely more comfortable out there on the mound. Just had a tough time in the first inning finding the strike zone, but now has had some reps out here. And this is why these coaches have to meticulously track the pitch count, and you're planning 1-2 days ahead. It's tough because everything about being a coach, being a player, is about the present moment and today, but you have to do that job of thinking forward in order to have success in the Southwest Regional.
And the biggest reason we have the pitch count in the guidelines is player safety, to keep these young arms healthy. Because there are some players that are going to have the opportunity to play the game for a really, really long time. There's some talent out here.
Yeah, and these are pitch count rules that have been in place for a very, very long time. But I think with this day and age, guys are playing baseball year-round more than they ever have. And these guys are throwing more than we've ever had kids in this age range do. So even more so now, it's imperative that we're taking care of those arms, because you're right. A lot of these guys hope to be playing the game for another 20, 25 years.
And more velo than we've seen at this age group than we've ever witnessed. And that is just more stress on the shoulder, on the elbow. Big pitch here for Blaylock. That is in. And it's going to be a 2-out walk to J.D. Hamilton.
Well, first time through the order, you're really impressed with what you've seen from Lamar at the plate as far as the patience and taking what the pitcher has given him on the other side. You've not seen a whole lot of chase from this Lamar lineup at all. You've got him almost a time through here in the second inning.
Brady Stulak thought about it. Big Mookie Betts fan. Looking for something to get a barrel on here. Texas East with 2 in the first, 1 here in the second. What do you look for with young guys in the approach here? Not just with 2 strikes, but when you get down 0-2.
You know, it's one you'll see a lot of these guys choke up. They shorten up some of the movement. You're seeing more leg kicks at this age than I think you've ever seen with the push for power and whatnot. But having a true two-strike approach where it's shortened up, you're just trying to hit a line drive somewhere and get the barrel to it. See, like this is a pitch that's up in the zone. He's able just to foul off a little bit, probably a ball high, but one that he didn't want to let go and put it in the umpire's hands.
Home plate umpire Brett Wagner. All of our umpires and coaches here, volunteers. One of the many things that makes Little League Baseball special, and they've done such a fantastic job of cultivating the sense of community. All these boys have played together for many years in their respective Little Leagues. They've grown up together, and an opportunity to realize a dream that in some ways athletically would define a childhood. Easton Pollard can tell his teammates all about that. He went to Williamsport with Lamar a season ago. That pitch is away, and sliding in safely is Landon Alvarez. It's 4-0 Texas East.
Good things happen when you put guys in the scoring position, especially early in this regional tournament. You see just a ball to the backstop leads to another run here.
Yarbrough pounds the mitt, fires to first, and Texas West turns it over to the bats. But another two spot on the board for the boys and the Pennies. Little League Baseball Regionals continue with Little League Around the Bases, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Our whip-around coverage of every region is hosted by Matt Schick with Mike Rooney on Saturday and Sunday from 1 to 9 Eastern and streaming live on ESPN+. With Connor Wanhanen, I'm Lowell Galindo. Welcome back to Waco, Texas. It's going to be hot. These boys have had a long summer, especially both these teams. Different states and regions have longer paths to get to a regional tournament. And with Texas having so many Little League charters, you do have to go through the district, the sectional, and the state tournament. Some of these teams that we'll see later have played 2 or 3 games coming from some of the smaller states that don't have quite as big of a Little League footprint.
It's really interesting in such a good region of baseball that you've got those differences in how teams have to get here ultimately to Waco. But you're right, Texas we've talked about it. These are 2 very proud programs. These are teams that have been successful here in the Southwest Regional. Obviously the last 2 programs that have made it to Williamsport from here. Long way to go for these Lamar All-Stars and these Boerne All-Stars.
New pitcher, by the way, for Lamar Little League as Lucas Castellanos comes in place of Big Papi Antonio Rodriguez. And certainly, you know, they're thinking pitch count as well. Try to keep one of their aces able to come back in this tournament because Lamar comes in with the expectations, anticipating a long run, and with a 4-0 lead, maybe feeling more comfortable to go to the bullpen early. The 1-2 to Preston Baird.
This is one of those, if you're Boerne, you look up at the scoreboard, you're down 4 here early, but you're just coming up to the plate for the second time. You don't have to get all of this back at once, but will go a long way for the confidence of this Texas West club if we're able to put on 1 or 2 here in this inning.
Well, that was filthy from Castellanos getting the strikeout upon entering the game. The 3rd strikeout issued by the Lamar pitching staff.
Now just get a look at this breaking ball and the downward depth to it. This one completely falls off the plate. And really tough for a hitter, especially when you've not seen that breaking ball very much. Just the 5th pitch for Castellanos here, but it's a great one.
Here's the catcher, Chandler Schrammick. That's away, ball 1. So Big Papi, now the catcher for Castellanos, squeezes that for a strike. As Easton Pollard has moved to second base. That's fouled. So it'll be 1-2. A layout off the glove of Creation over at third base. Then off our third base umpire, Todd Lee. And that could have been extra bases potentially there for Schrammick, but sometimes it's the way the ball bounces.
Yeah, a little bit of bad luck here for Schrammick. You'd see him poke this down the left field line. A good effort by Madden Creation at third base, but yeah, just right off of Todd Lee. And I have to think with where that ball was heading, the way that it was spinning, probably a double if that's able to go freely down into left field.
Here's Carson Patrick. Looks at ball 1, wearing number 99, like Aaron Judge. His favorite player, though, quite the opposite, Jose Altuve, the Houston Astros legend. That is ripped to right field. Here comes Bernie. First and second with 1 out in the bottom of the second. Back-to-back knocks for the Bernie Bats.
This is just, you see some high-level baseball here when you get to this point in the Little League season. Stays back on it. You see he let that ball travel over the plate. He's able to shoot it through the 4-hole on the right side. And talking to Greg Yost leading up into this tournament, he said the bottom half of this lineup has been special for their whole season. They have carried a lot of the freight offensively for this Texas West club, and looking like that here early in this tournament.
And off the noggin. That's why we wear the lid, boys and girls. Paulson's fired up to do his job, and it's bases loaded for Bernie.
You just see how quickly things can change, and you get the great strikeout here to start this second inning by Lucas Castellanos on the mound. A breaking ball that looked like it was going to be 1-0 shoot for Texas West, but then a couple of good swings of the bat, the hit by pitch, and now you're 1 swing away from potentially tying this thing up.
Lawson Belden stands in, AKA the Law Dog. First base is playing up. That's Lincoln Dubé. Throw back down to third base. And Creation keeps it from scooting into left field. Big Papi showing some aggressiveness with the bases loaded. Belden and right side. What a layout! Dubé throws home for the force. Out of the way, kid.
We may have our first highlight of the tournament. You can't do this any better. Look how far out Dubé's got to sprawl, and then to throw a strike to Antonio Rodriguez to get the force. And this is heads-up defense by this Lamar Little League team. You cannot do that any better to save a run here. Get yourself to 2 outs in the inning.
So from loaded with 1 out, finding barrels to another barrel being snagged by Lincoln Dubé, ultra athletic at first base. That has changed the complexion of this bottom of the 2nd inning. But not out of the woods yet. This is Lyle Fisher, 1-0. And that's up 2-0. If you're Lyle, what are you looking for here?
Well, you're starting to have a lot of success going the other way for these right-handed hitting Boerne All-Stars. Now, we just saw the athleticism for Dubé. You're going to have to get a lot of bat to it in order to shoot it through that right side.
Looking to that right side, out of play, and it's 2-1. Now Boerne All-Stars back. Won it all here 2 years ago. Lamar, a team that won it all last season.
Now, you talked a little bit about it ago, but as far as the 2-strike approach is concerned, you can see Lyle Fisher right now is just trying to get bat to it. It doesn't really matter what the result is for him, just trying to get bat to it and make this Texas East team play some defense.
Good fight here between Castellanos, who just entered on the bump this inning, and gets out of it with the strikeout with the bases loaded. That's how it's done, Connor.
Now the book ends with the punch out. He reaches back and he gets a good one when he needs it. Dotted on the outside corner. Still a 4-run lead for Texas East.
states that have claimed titles. It's California doubling up on the field with 8 all-time. Hometown kids from Pennsylvania with 4. Texas 2. And I took that personally.
Yeah, and they're trying to make it 3. And we talked about it for these 2 teams. These 2 little leagues that we have playing right now, Lamar and Boerne, the last 2 Southwest region representatives in Williamsport. And right now it's the All-Stars from Lamar that have the lead here early, 4-0.
Lamar made it to Williamsport last season. 1 player back, Easton Pollard, who's hitting in the 5 spot. Boerne made it all the way to the U.S. Championship game in Williamsport 2 years ago. And they are the team down 4-0. So top of the 3rd, Texas East has scored a pair of runs in the 1st and 2nd. 2 runs off wild pitches, 2 runs off fielder's choice. Just putting the ball in play. But their success has been set up by discipline at the plate like we're seeing here from Tucker.
It's been a lot of manufacturing runs, and you don't want to discount that fall asleep if you're Boerne, because you've got their quote-unquote murderer's row coming up here. We talked about the big bats that Marcus Creation has told us about. Sheldon Tucker, a guy that has set the table for those guys all season long.
And there for a strike. Tucker with a big brother that played baseball at Texas A&M, drafted by the Boston Red Sox in their farm system. And a big sister that's playing professional softball in Europe. Tucker is down on strikes. Boone Blaylock threw it by him for his 2nd strikeout.
It's a heck of a job by Boone Blaylock, just hanging around in this at bat. You talked about the role that Sheldon Tucker has played at the top of this Lamar lineup, but Blaylock gets a fastball to beat him up at the top of the zone to keep the runners off for Big Papi.
And Tony Rodriguez, the Big Papi nickname, and showed that he could have as much power. I think he's proven that he's got more speed than the original Big Papi. As the dude that legged out a wild pitch from 3rd base to score. Check out little Big Papi. When he first started playing Little League ball, patch on the left sleeve, and all smiles. I mean, you think about playing baseball at this age, and when you first started playing the game, it's like peak childhood right there, and that's happiness on Antonio's face. Balance that players and parents all strive to find. These kids are competitive. They have stated they want to be good at the game by playing at this level. Keep pushing while also maintaining the most important thing, having fun. That is in on the hands and just fooled Rodriguez. What a pitch by Blaylock. Yeah, that's a sword, Boone. That is.
Yeah, this is a really good hitter at the plate that you made look silly with this pitch. That is a great job by Blaylock of slowing it down. You see it just ties up Rodriguez at the dish here. A couple of strikeouts for Boone as he comes out for his first clean inning of work here. Came in on relief in the 2nd for Boerne.
Yeah, he is fooling some dudes up there. This is Chase Gibbs way out in front. Big Jordan fan, aren't we all? If you're gonna pick a hitter to watch right now that does everything at an elite level at the plate, can't think of many more dudes you would want to watch than Jordan.
I mean, you may be able to find some people in North Texas that would look elsewhere.
Just because they're Rangers fans. Yeah, Blaylock locked in. Absolute filth from 46 feet away. That dude was untouchable. A 4-0 lead for Texas East here as we go to the bottom of the third in our first game, the first day of this Southwest Regional here in Waco, Texas. Texas West trying to get the bats going, and they really did an inning ago. Loaded the bases with 1 out, and then Texas East came up with a fantastic defensive play at first by Lincoln Dubé, laid out, threw home for an out, and they got the strikeout from Lucas Castellanos. But the man that has given Boerne Little League some stability on the bump now stands in to the batter's box, and it is Boone Blaylock.
Yeah, this last half, you really kind of felt the tide turn a little bit, even though it is a 4-0 game in favor of the boys from Lamar. Boone Blaylock now trying to help his cause out. And that inning that you just described will have a lot of legs to it for these Texas West All-Stars. Just a heck of a defensive play by Lincoln Dubé, as you mentioned. And those are the ones that can deflate you. I promise you, though, Greg Yost and this coaching staff is speaking encouragement into his team.
And that is smash. Oh! Dubé, look what I got. Give me all the Highlights Sports Center top 10.
I just do everything I can to avoid hitting the ball towards this guy over at first base. Lincoln Dubé is proving that you cannot get anything by him. He's turning into a goaltender over there at first. 2 web gems for Dubé here early in the ballgame.
Showing up, showing out. Love it. Back to the top of the lineup for Boerne. And this one is also red. Oh, doing it again! But bobbled. What an effort out and left by Landon Alvarez. He's a little frustrated, but nothing to hang your head on there. Great props from Sheldon Tucker, because he almost made a top 10.
And these sinking line drives are so tough, and you see he just barely over rotates on this as he goes to the ground, not able to keep it in the web of the mitt. A heck of an effort by Alvarez out in left field to get the glove to it, just not able to corral it cleanly, and it's a base hit.
There's Walker Yost. Pulled the string to Castellanos, and it's 0-1. Now it's a 4-0 lead for Texas East. Texas West is catching more barrels than Lamar right now. That is going to get away from Antonio Rodriguez, and scooting up 60 feet is Case Yarbrough.
Yeah, this is one of those as a coaching staff, if you're in that Texas West dugout, is you're telling your team and trying to encourage them to stay the course. You're having some quality at bats. You know, that second inning doesn't result in any runs, but now you've got some real momentum. We just saw Boone Blaylock strike out the side here in the top half of the third inning. You've got a couple of good swings in this bottom of the third now, and can you put something together to break through on the scoreboard?
Manager's son, Walker Yost. Looking for his moment. The bats are heating up. Unfortunately, 2 of their hardest shots have gone straight to Dubé over at first base. And there is a third. Come on, kid. Locked in. Gold Glove first baseman.
He's just calm, cool, and collected over there, and this is understanding where you are on the field. You see, he drops that right knee, realizes that he's got just a couple of steps to walk over to first base, and you see him chatting it up with the first base umpire, Jared Farr, as well. He's saying, can anything get by you, kid? I don't think so.
Strong hair game, by the way. He's got the flow going. Merrick Koo. Boys of summer right there. How much time did you spend back in the day making sure your hair looked good out of your hat? That's like a big part of this experience. And how about that?
Look at the
Yost
play by.
moves up and takes third. Excuse me, Yarbrough.
Yeah, just the effort by Creation on the back end of that to keep that ball even close to third base was heroic there. Saves a run.
In there for a strike. Lucas Castellanos gets out of the jam again. Boerne is finding barrels. The boys in the pennies just too strong defensively. 4-0 Lamar. Back here in Waco, Texas for day number 1 of the Little League Southwest Regional. On Tuesday, we sent the team to Williamsport. Lo Galindo here with Connor Wanhanen. All right, give us the scouting report for the two teams we're watching. Lamar Little League for Texas East and Boerne Little League for Texas West.
Yeah, you talk to Marcus Creation, and this is a team that hangs their hat on the defensive end, and we've seen that already. Talk about the great plays by Lincoln Dubé, but it's a very disciplined group. They play clean baseball for this 11 and 12-year-old range. And in talking to Marcus, he's excited about what this team is going to do on the defensive end. We're seeing some gems early.
First pitch swinging, and Case Greco is there in center to make the play. 1 down. Now for Texas West, what do you got?
This is a really athletic team that we've seen already, and you talked about those stable of arms that they have. You know, down a 4-0 deficit right now, but you've got plenty of depth that you can go to. These are teams that, these are guys on the mound that can run it up into the 70-mile-an-hour range. So if you can start to have a little bit of luck turn on the offensive end, get back into this ball game, it's going to be a really fun one down the stretch here this morning.
Easton Pollard, big hack. The first pitch he's seen. He put in every at-bat he had in Waco last season, put the ball in play. And there's another one in play. But what a break by Greco out in center field. That speed, that's recognition as well. And check that. We got a new center fielder, so that's Anders Paulson, who was moved over from right. So fantastic job for Anders showing the range.
Yeah, that one's all about the first step there. Do you recognize that sound off the bat? And can you get in on that ball quickly? That was just a heck of a job by Paulson, able to get on his horse, run in and make that catch. Not a whole lot of room.
And that is going to lead us to a pitching change. And this is another move that was made because of the pitch threshold. So Boom Blaylock will still be able to return later in this tournament, but he does need 1 day's rest. So new pitcher when we return, as Greco now comes in on the bump. Pitcher number 3 for the Boerne Little League All-Stars, Case Greco, started the game in center field. Now we get to see his arm on the mound.
Yeah, pretty clear what the strategy is for this Boerne Little League. You're not trying to burn anybody today for more than a day right now. Just trying to hang around in this ball game. What we've seen the Lamar All-Stars take advantage of is free passes and opportunities that Texas West have given them on the mound like this. The balls in the dirt, wild pitches, and the free passes that have been issued. If Greco can come in and pound the strike zone, we're starting to see Texas West get some really good swings off the offensive end. There's still a lot of game left here.
Lincoln Dubé, great glove. He has been the defensive MVP, if not the overall MVP for Lamar in this game, strictly because of his defensive plays at first base. Trying to add to that with the bat. That's a tough pitch to get to. And upon entering the game, Greco gets the strikeout. Still 4-0 Texas East as we go to the bottom of the 4th.
Love day 1 of the regional tournament because this is when the stars start to show up, and Lincoln Dubé and his glove has been just that. Saves a run here earlier in the game, laying out down into his right, then snares a line drive up over the head right after that to kill a threat. And then how about this, saving another one, keeps the ball in front of him. He has been calm, cool, and collected over at first base for these Texas East All-Stars. It has been impressive for Lincoln Dubé.
That layout was bases loaded, 1 out, with Boerne trailing 4-0. Real chance for them to get back in the game.
That's one that as a coach you have to have somebody make a play, and that's exactly what you get there. You've got to have somebody show up and do something to stop that threat, and Dubé was able to do just that for Lamar.
Castellanos back on the bump for Lamar Little League. This is pitch number 30. So this will likely either be his last or second to last batter if Lamar wants to keep Castellanos available with just 1 day of rest. So 35 is the max for this current threshold that leads to 1 day rest. You can go over that as long as you start the at-bat within the current threshold. Lime cucumber. We didn't have lime cucumber Gatorade back in the 1980s. I can tell you that much.
Red or blue? What do you want?
Or the great debate is lemon lime. Is that yellow or green? What do you say?
Yellow.
It's yellow.
Yeah, that's
it's
yellow. I think it's very yellow, isn't it?
Yeah, I would tend to say, but I have been blown away by how many people will contend and fight to the end that is green.
I'm also in the camp. There is very much a difference when you had the squirt top versus just your normal cap.
You know what's next level? Gatorade in a can.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh, yeah.
Come on. Did you like the twist off top, or did you like the squirt cap?
I mean, when the squirt cap was like, hey, if we had a good game today and we earned it,
Yeah.
like, yeah, you go get you one on the way home. That's fine.
And that was a big technology breakthrough when that came out. Like, what? I can just buy this at 7-Eleven?
Yeah, the options are a little bit overwhelming now.
Oh, lime cucumber. Greco shakes his head, not chasing that.
We've seen since he was in the ball game, that breaking ball has been impressive for Castellanos. And that was a really nice job taking that pitch by Greco at the dish.
Fantastic plate discipline. Draws the leadoff walk. Texas West now needs to break through. They found the barrels, just not finding a lot of grass.
Number 12.
Yeah, you just get the sense that there's a big inning in there for this Boerne club. It's there. You've just got to have that big hit when you get some traffic out there. You get the leadoff men on with nobody out, and that's exactly what you're looking for. Give it to one of your bigger bats, Casey Martinez.
First pitch strike to Martinez. Was the starting pitcher for Boerne. Had some control issues early, which is understandable considering you're the first person to take the bump to open up this Southwest Regional. These boys know what they're playing for. They know what's on the other side of this tournament. Trip to Williamsport. Be one of the 20 teams fighting for that Little League World Series title. That is a nasty pitch by Castellanos.
He's had that spinner working for him, especially away to these right-handed hitters. It is a really tough pitch to lay off. See him trying to stay away from Kaysen at the plate.
And meanwhile, Castellanos has also gone over the next threshold and will require 2 days rest. This is pitch number 42. Up the middle. There's the flip from Martin. And nearly a double play as Pollard tried to spin it.
Just a clean turn up the middle. You don't see a whole lot of double plays in Little League just because of the proximity, but a great job by these guys up the middle. You see the big stretch by Dubé on the back end at first base, but Jared Farr, the first base umpires, all over it.
Got two dudes named Easton working it up the middle and flashing the leather, despite the fact they could be named after bats. Martin at short, Pollard at second. First pitch strike to Preston Baird. Favorite celebrity, Jim Carrey. It's a welcome sight, a little bit of a throwback feel. Just means that Sean and Megan are raising their young man right. The vocal leader of this Boerne Little League squad, Preston Baird. Play 6-inning games here in Little League. And there's the hammer, but up.
If you're Castellanos on the mound, I don't know if there's any reason to go to anything other than that same pitch that you've been going. That breaking ball that's just away. Everything has been to that left-hand side of the batter's box.
That's in there for the strikeout. And Lucas Castellanos up to 4 now.
You can see he's getting really comfortable throwing to that glove side. And this is a dotted up fastball there on the outside part of the block. If you're looking for that breaking ball at all, if you're buried at the dish, it's going to be really tough to catch up to it. See 4 strikeouts now in 2 2/3 innings of work for Castellanos.
Chandler Schrammick, as Castellanos pounds the mitt, pounds the zone. Pitch number 47. And that is placed in center field in front of Tucker. And a clutch 2-out knock for Chandler Schrammick, his second base hit of the Southwest Regional.
It was this part of the order back in the second inning that really got things moving. You had back-to-back hits by Schrammick, and now Carson Patrick, who will come to the plate again. Just a really nice swing by Schrammick. Going the other way, see he lines that into shallow center field. And it's been this second half of the Boerne lineup that's done a lot of the heavy lifting here through this postseason. Can you come through and break through in a big way here in the fourth?
That's down to Carson Patrick. Patrick had a hard hit single to right field. Is my dude rocking Pit Vipers?
I'm no expert, but it sure looked like it.
I saw some fangs on those shades, man. Let me tell you, if you're rocking Pit Vipers out, and he is, you mean business. I don't know if the king, George Strait, would approve. Stay away from Dubé. Not here for a long time, here for a good time. The words of George Strait echoing inside the noggin of Carson Patrick, who's locked in with the Pit Vipers.
These are these moments those kids live for. 2 outs, 2 strikes, and need a big swing as you get into the second half here of this opening ball game.
What does Castellanos have in store? 1-2, 2 on, 2 outs. Fastball in play. Tough play for Castellanos. The throw to first. In time. Lucas got him.
Now, just another unbelievable moment defensively. It's a team that hangs their hat with the gloves in their hand. And Lucas Castellanos making another big one here. Still a 4-0 lead for Texas East.
Ten regional sites across America. Winners going to Williamsport. This is the format for all those sites. Got a double elimination format until 2 teams remain, and then it is a winner-take-all championship game. So it's not an if-necessary game, meaning that if you were the team that's undefeated in the championship game and the team with 1 loss beats you, that's it. that team that wins that championship on the way to Williamsport.
Yeah, it's all about showing up in that championship game when you get there. But we've been talking about it all morning, too, handling the pitch counts and your pitching staff. Anytime you're in a double elimination type of situation, you've probably got a lot of baseball to contend with, and these teams, you're wanting to try, if you possibly can, get to that championship game with at least one of your big arms out there that you can use.
Yeah, different strategies here with these two teams, and we've seen Big Papi Antonio Rodriguez go 1 for Texas East, with Lucas Castellanos maybe going the rest of the way. The teams that we have here, 7 teams in all. Our next game is going to be Arkansas and Louisiana, and we will see Oklahoma play tomorrow. So they are the lone team to have the first day off. I don't know, you get out here, you're excited to play. If it's an advantage to just get out and rip off the tape, play day number 1, or see what everybody else has got and play game or day number 2.
I think it depends if you're talking to the coach.
Leading off for Texas East. Center fielder number 27. Brooks Yeager.
And there's the first pitch, bunt, and the English off the bat from Brooks Yeager. That just stopped and went away from Greco on the mound.
You can see this one just checks up as soon as it hits the ground. Greco just overrunning this, a little bit too overzealous on this. That ball just stops right behind him. Very tough to have to reach behind your back and then make a play to first base. Yeager gets himself on base to lead things off here in the 5th.
Little pitching wedge with some bite and backspin.
Man, I wish.
Here's Madden Creation. He's played a solid third base. Favorite player is Ellie De La Cruz. It is a Texas East squad from Lamar Little League that has blown out opponents to get to this point. Really only had one dicey game that was hanging in the balance late, as this bunt is back to Greco, who fires to first, but Creation does his job, moves up the lead runner as Yeager takes second. And even though this team is rolling through competition to get here to the Southwest Regional, manager Marcus Creation, we just saw him over at first base, he says this is a battle-tested group.
Yeah, you go through those tough rounds leading up, and we talked about the run differential, but that matchup against Bridge City for this Lamar team is what Marcus Creation is referring to. And you go through any sort of adversity like that, you know, for those teams that really are the great ones, and you've got those run differentials that this Lamar team has, it really only takes 1 or 2 moments like that, but you really start to consider yourself a battle-tested club because you've been through some hard times, and that's what brings these groups closer together in this postseason.
Also, you show a lot of toughness in how you handle a lead, and it's a Texas East squad that is still hammering baseballs as that one goes to Yarbrough. Man, he is smooth over there at shortstop. But despite the fact that they opened out with a 4-0 lead, it's not like Lamar ever got complacent and got comfortable. They've kept competing at an extremely high level.
Well, and we talked about the calling card for this team. It's been on the defensive end. They've gotten themselves out to this lead, but what they have done pitching and defense-wise has been stellar. Lucas Castellanos has made incredible pitches when he's needed to, and well documented what Lincoln Dubé has done over at first base, as well as some others.
And here's Castellanos, who we saw moments ago wrap up the 4th inning with an amazing play, springing off the mound to show an electric arm over to first to get the out. That's a tough pitch to handle there. And it's 1-1. Greco, third pitcher used here by Boerne Little League. Casey Martinez, Boone Blaylock, both eligible to return after a day rest. And it's 1-2. And the runner scoots up. The signal, go home. Play at the plate, no. Sliding in safely, Brooks Yeager insurance. And Lamar Little League leads 5-0. Playing on edge.
And this is what this group has been doing all day long. You've seen Yeager flirt with this. He's been taking some big secondary leads out there on second base.
To third base, Patrick with the throw and Cood with the stretch. But that is how you manufacture a run. You get your leadoff on, bunt him over, swipe third, and score with havoc on the bases. Follow the amazing kids as they experience their own Little League World Series adventure. Download the Little League World Series app and watch highlights, photos, schedules, and more. Available in the app stores for Apple and Android devices. Oh, what a way to start off the Southwest Regional. All roads lead to Williamsport, and all games lead to the Tuesday Championship here at Marvin Norcross Stadium. New pitcher on the mound for the All-Stars from Lamar Little League. And it is Lincoln Dubé. Of course it is. He has been the star defensive player for Lamar over at first base. That's a ball down as Anders Paulson stands in. And yeah, Lincoln Dubé, he's always had strong hair game.
That's pretty impressive, even from a young age. The young Yankee. Now into the pinstripes. So it's all fitting.
To short, backhand, and that's a hot shot from Anders Paulson. He reaches safely for the second time. That's his first base hit. They're squaring up baseballs, just no runs to show for it.
Yeah, and it's so frustrating as a player and as a group when that's been the case. You look up at the scoreboard, you're winning in the hit column that just hasn't translated to runs on the board yet. And as a coaching staff, that's when it's imperative that you're trying to keep the spirits high. You're trying to keep the morale there. Can we hang around and put together a couple of crooked numbers here in this 5th and 6th inning?
Strike one to Lawson Belden. This was the youngster that Lincoln Dubé robbed. With the bases loaded back in the second. And this is recovered nicely by Brady Stulak over there at first base. Dubé pumps his fist, says, yeah, you play the spot like I do.
I was just about to say, I don't know if those are shoes that I want to try and fill over at first base with what we've seen from Dubé, but a heck of a job by Stulak knocking that ball down, and he also understands where he is on the field. Take a couple of steps over for the first out of this 5th inning.
Play 6-inning games here in Little League, so running out of outs to work with for the Boerne Little League All-Stars, as this is Lyle Fisher, big Kevin Hart fan. And you just need that first run to get things going. puts it in play. Creation from third, and stuck in no man's land is Paulson. Run down. Paulson not back in time. They got him leaning. Made the throw back in time, and that is how you play defense.
Now this is what we expected to see, just well executed on the defensive end. You pick up a big double play late in the ball game, and Texas East able to hold on to their 5-0 lead.
Back here in Waco, Texas, with Connor Monhan and I'm Loa Galindo. Texas East with a 5-0 lead as we go to the 6th inning. Play 6-inning games here in Little League. And when you look at the score, it's a little deceiving. And then when you look at the way these teams played, it's further deceiving because Texas West has caught more barrels than Texas East, yet it's Texas East from Lamar that has a 5-0 lead.
Yeah, Texas West has certainly swung the bat better, but you look at those 5 runs, 2 runs for Texas East scoring on wild pitches, 2 on fielder's choices, and they added another one on a throwing error towards third base. They have just manufactured runs around the diamond. They've taken extra bases where there's been even the smallest gap, and that's what's led them here to this opening round lead, head to the 6th inning.
J.D. Hamilton leading off for Lamar Little League. They won this regional a year ago. They have one returning player, Easton Pollard. His dad was the coach of that team that went to Williamsport. That's in, and it's 2-2. Texas East certainly looking like a team that could win this all again with the style of play. They've got guys that can really pitch, It's not just velo, which we touted coming into the broadcast, but they play defense and smart at bats. Man, they are making the Boerne pitchers work for everything in this game.
Yeah, there's really haven't been any gifts that Lamar has given Boerne at all. And you talk about the potential ability to win this and move on to Williamsport again. If you play defense at that good of a clip throughout this whole tournament, it's going to be really tough to beat a group like that.
Here's the 2-2 to J.D. Hamilton. 5 strikeouts, but offset by 5 walks for the Texas East bats. Yeager and Creation, the 7 and 8 hitters. The lone hits for Texas East. And one of those was a bunt single. The other one close to being an error on a hot shot to shortstop. And that is walk number 6 drawn by Texas East. 2 of them from J.D. Hamilton.
Well, this is how so many of those scoring opportunities have started. They've just been able to work a count, stay in it throughout the course of an at-bat, and then ultimately find themselves over to first base. Now you've got another run out there. Insurance plays really big here if you're Lamar. You're trying to tack on and make that mountain as high as you possibly can for Boerne in the bottom of the 6th.
And so Case Greco leaves the game, 24 pitches in, leaves the mound. He's going to go back to the outfield where he started this game, and 24 pitches. That will mean that Greco does have to take a day off before he can return to this regional. Preston Baird is going to be the new pitcher for the Boerne Little League All-Stars. Five runs on the board for Brady Stulak and Texas East. They only have 2 hits. They have drawn 6 walks, and none of those runs off base hits. Yet it's a 5-0 commanding lead in the 6th and final inning of regulation in the opener of the Southwest region. Preston Baird is a new pitcher. Let me clean up the case with Greco. He started the previous at-bat, his final at-bat, under the 2nd threshold, so he will be available to return without a day of rest for Boerne Little League. And there is Greco moving back out to center field as Paulson slides over to right. Lamar out of Richmond, Texas. That's the Houston area. Kind of leaning into the Rice Owls look with the pinstripe and the Old English font. That is up and away. Throw down to second base, not in time as J.D. Hamilton takes second. 60-foot base pass. Mound 46 feet away. You cannot leave the bag until the pitch reaches the batter. Also, no head-first slides in Little League unless you are diving back to the bag.
You know, one of the things that's been so impressive about this Lamar bunch, they are looking for every opportunity to try and take that next base, however that may be. If it's a ball in the dirt, if it sails over the head, if it even gets away from the catcher just a little bit. They are more often than not moving up and trying to force this Boerne team to play some elite level defense. And that's where we've seen some of those mistakes come in. We talked about those runs. Haven't had to do a whole lot with the actual bats in their hands, have these Texas East players today.
2-2 to Stulak. And Boerne tried to turn the tables a moment ago on Lamar and got super aggressive on the ground ball to third base. Took a big turn from second. Runner was caught in the rundown, and Lamar was all over that, able to get him going back to second base. And that is a walk, nobody out, and back to the top of the lineup in Sheldon Tucker. So 7 walks now drawn by Lamar Little League. Sheldon Tucker. He's got a future playing this game. I mean, big brother played at A&M in the Red Sox organization. Big sister played at Southeastern Louisiana, D1 program. She's now playing pro in Europe. And looks up to Big Sis and Big Bro. It's got to be nice to have a couple of hitters in the family. You know, whenever you need a little bit of advice, get things right, just walk down the hall. And that gets away. And runners now in second and third.
Oh, and you've got this frequency of opportunity with runners on second and third that Lamar has had today. It's going to have the potential to be a really nice offensive day for a big cut at that one.
Oh, yeah.
He heard you talking about just one home run in last year's tournament.
He's got some juice, but he doesn't chase. Not here, full count. And you got the big bats coming up. Rodriguez, Gibbs, and Martin. Nobody out. Three-two to Sheldon Tucker. Tough spot. Baird wanted the call, not going to get it. And the bases are loaded for Big Poppy.
Now batting, the catcher number 3, Antonio Rodriguez.
His coach, Marcus Creation, says that Big Poppy, Antonio Rodriguez, is one of the most complete baseball players he's ever seen at this age. We've seen him on the mound, we've seen him behind the plate. He walked his first time up, struck out his second time up. That's in there for a strike.
You just get the feeling that these next three guys, somebody wants to put an extra base hit up on the board with the bases juiced here.
Painting on the outside edge. 0-2.
That's a good fastball from Baird, and you can see that he's got some arm talent out there on the mound. It's been a firm heater as long as he's been in the ball game now.
Good morning, good afternoon, good night. There's a strikeout from Baird.
Well, and that's what you've got to do in that situation. You have no opportunity other than to challenge Antonio Rodriguez. Nothing too fancy there with a few fastballs.
Not out of the woods by any stretch. Here's Chase Gibbs. In there for a strike. Chop to third base. The bare hand. And the force was at home. Here comes a second run. And scoring from second base is Brady Stulak. So a little dribbler to third leads to 2 runs. And Texas East adds 2 more.
Well, it starts as a mistake. You see J.D. Hamilton forgetting that this is a force out, that he's got to go home. But then at third base, Carson Patrick a little bit too much on this ball, trying to come home with it, just not able to get it cleanly to his catcher. And this is what Texas East has done all day long.
And that ball is ripped. Probably the best ball off a barrel here today for Lamar. And it just adds to the onslaught. Easton Martin to right field.
Just a beautiful piece of hitting the other way. You see this pitch is elevated up around the belt. He takes it exactly where it's pitched and lines it into right field. And after all this time, the 8th run of the game is the first one to come home via the hit for Lamar.
Now batting, second baseman, number 21, Easton Pollard.
Runners on second and third for the lone returner, Easton Pollard, and both Eastons with knocks. And that throws away from home. An extra insurance run will score. And the floodgates officially open. And how about that for Easton Pollard? Put balls in play consistently last season here in Waco. Was on the team from Lamar Little League that won it all, but did not record a hit. Despite the fact that every at-bat led to a ball in play, he comes back for season number 2 here in the Southwest Regional, and he just came up with his first knock here in Waco.
This is a team that has just put the pressure on all day long. And as we've been talking about, they haven't come through really with the base hit in here until this 6th inning. But the quintessential blood in the water, and they have kicked the door in here in this 6th. A 10-run deficit with 5 of these runs coming in so far in this 6th.
Mr. Flo slashes that one foul right side. Lincoln Dubé, he will go down as the MVP, I think, in our books of this game. Fantastic defensive snag with the bases loaded, with the game very much in the balance. I was back in the 2nd when it was 4-0. Boerne has threatened and threatened, but just has not been able to deliver the payoff. Dubé lifts it up. Got a packed house here inside Marvin Norcross Stadium. Finding shade, which is key here in Texas in August. Tough to do. Another walk, number 9. Greg Yost to the mound. Like, keep your head up moment to Preston Baird. Tough to be the guy that's on that mound. All eyes on you. Takes a lot of confidence to get out there and work that role. And Preston Baird will certainly have better days in front of him. Top of the 6th, a 10-0 lead for Texas East. 1 out. We'll introduce the new pitcher when we return. Welcome back to Waco, Texas for day number 1 of the Little League Southwest Regional. Find Little League on Facebook, X, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at the official handles at Little League. And don't forget to use hashtag LLWS. Got some Lamar All-Stars, maybe from the younger or older divisions, or perhaps from last year's team that made it all the way to Williamsport, coming back to support their Little League. Richmond, Texas, Houston area. They have athletes in Houston. Yeager, first pitch, pops it up as Lyle Fisher, the new pitcher here for the Boerne Little League All-Stars. A little dab of the rosin bag and back to work for Lyle Fisher. Just peeking over the top of the mitt into his catcher, Chandler Schrammick. We have a pitch comm issue. Give him the heater, Ricky. In there for a strike.
Don't need to overcomplicate it here. For Lyle Fisher, you know that's the message for Greg Yost as he comes into the ballgame, is to pound the strike zone, get us in the dugout, and see if we can't get on a magical run here in the bottom of the 6th.
At this age level, and really in this game at every age level, it's all possible.
It is all possible. Crazier things have always happened.
Yeah. And that is through the gap on the left side. Yeager comes up with his second hit and holding him at third. And now we have a little bit of a logjam between second and third. Got that all sorted out. And Brooks Yeager, 2 for 3 in his Waco debut. Here's Madden Krasik, sensational at third base. Hit to third base. The throw is home. And in time for the out. And that was one of the plays that could not connect on earlier in this inning, which led to the runs for Texas East piling on.
Yeah, this one a little bit more straightforward, right to Patrick over at third base, able to just field it and throw home. He wasn't on the run trying to make that play. So 2 outs now for Texas West as they try and get themselves back into the dugout for the bottom half of the 6th.
There's a strike to Landon Alvarez, and it's 0-2. Popped up. Yost going back and makes the catch, takes a tumble. Did he hold on? Yes, he did. Now the bigger concern is everybody okay out there with Greco coming in from center and Yost retreating from second base? Assistant coaches Rusty Belden and Joshua Cood out there to check on Walker Yost.
5 runs on 3 hits. 1 error and 3 left on. Texas West coming to bat.
And he is up and limping it off in some pain. But hopefully everything is okay for Walker Yost, who just made a heck of a play to record that third out. We have reached the bottom of the 6th inning. Last chance here for the All-Stars from Boerne Little League to chase down the 10-run deficit as Lincoln Dubé standing tall on the mound for the Lamar Little League All-Stars, opening up with an emphatic 10-0 lead 1 year after Lamar Little League won it all here in Waco to advance to Williamsport, Pennsylvania, home of the Little League World Series. This is Boone Blaylock hitting in the number 12 spot. Continuous batting order here in Little League, meaning all players on the roster will hit. Boerne has hit the ball well, 5 base knocks and a lot of barrels in there. Turning point of this game, bases loaded with 1 out in the 2nd inning. Dubé made a fantastic play. But no one stepping in front of that as Blaylock smashes that into left field. And they are now out hitting Texas East 6-5, but still no runs.
I'll tell you, it just does not feel right that this is a team that has 0 runs on the board with the way that they've swung the bat today. How many hard-hit baseballs have we seen? It's just been outstanding, timely defense by Lamar on the other end. And you talk about, you know, now out-hitting this Lamar team, but it's a 10-run deficit. It's a really interesting way that this game has come together. For Boerne, they're trying to at least find something, get themselves on the board here and see if you can have some magic. It's going to take a lot more than 1 over there right now. See how many they can stack together in a row.
Certainly not done yet. A daunting challenge to climb back in this from 10 runs down, but if you get closer to the silver lining part of this, which a coach, especially at this age level, has to be a master at, it's going to be, look, we didn't help ourselves. They played some really good defense, but we consistently squared up the baseball. Let's go get them next game.
Guys, we had some great swings today, and look at just the stat line up and down, but not even that. What did the at-bats look like?
Here's another hit to left field. Yarbrough's got 1. And these aren't cheapies either, Connor.
Now, Case Yarbrough at the top of this lineup has just made quick work of his last 2 at-bats. He struck out to lead things off in the ballgame, but a line drive, sinking line drive to left field, left center, back in the 3rd inning, and then picks up his 2nd hit of the day here. And again, don't look now, but you've got a couple of men on. Long way to go, but exactly how you've got to have the inning start.
And this is great just to see Walker Yost back up there after he had that scare, ranging out to center field to make the play on the run that ended the top of the 6th. He's back because he's a tough guy. But in the Little League rules, if you do have an injured player, since you have a continuous batting order, if the player is not able to return to a game, you can skip their spot in the lineup without punishment. But all these boys want to play. And so his dad, Greg, would have had to pull him literally off the field to keep Walker from having this moment, this at-bat. Oh, wanted to turn and burn, and that was the pitch to do it on. Out of play, off the tin roof.
And you can see he's fighting through it up at the plate right now, trying to stretch something out a little bit. And you wonder if it's around that shoulder area, but just the guts and the courage by Yost at the plate right now. Has himself in a 2-2 count with a couple of men on.
Dubé tried to spot that, and it's a full count. Arkansas, Louisiana next. That's a big cut. An allowed foul ball from Walker Yost.
You talk about these kids having a lot of aspirations to play for a long time. I love the action from Yost. It's very quiet at the plate. See, just resting the bat on his shoulder. The movement's very consistent, gets himself into a good position.
And draws the walk. So bases loaded, nobody out. And Boerne putting up a fight here despite the fact they trail by 10. This is as deceiving as a score as you're going to see in Little League Baseball.
This has been much more closely contested than what the scoreboard says. And you just had the feeling that this one had a chance to really get close late. And of course, you tack on the 5 runs in the top of the 6th for Texas East. It makes the score what it is right now. But this is a Boerne team that has been hanging around all morning long. And you're seeing some of that come together today. With Coot at the plate, you got a chance to put up 4 real quick.
So this does it for Lincoln Dubé, who still is the defensive MVP of this game. And perhaps part of the reason for this change, Dubé started that at-bat in the lowest threshold of pitch count, meaning that even though he is up to 23, he is still eligible to return and play and pitch tomorrow. New pitcher is going to be Easton Martin. We'll let you know what he's all about when we return. Getting a little bit interesting in game number 1 of the Little League Southwest Regional. Texas East put up a 5 spot in the top of the 6th to extend their lead to 10-0. But now the Boerne Little League All-Stars have loaded the bases with nobody out. They've chased Dubé from the mound. Easton Martin comes in for Lamar Little League to face the number 3 hitter, Merritt Koo, who coming into this has 6 home runs in 13 games in All-Stars this postseason. Creation now at shortstop to second base. Boerne does get on the board here, and that's going to be big for them moving forward, just to see a number in that box score.
Yeah, it does so much for you psychologically, and while it very well may end up being too little too late for Boerne, it's good to see one come across with the way that they've swung the bat. 7 base hits today so far, and just have not been able to break through in any of these prior innings.
Here's Case Greco. Runners on the corners. That gets away, got to be really careful. And that is another run as Yarbrough scoots home in time, and it's 10-2 now, chasing 8 for Boerne Little League.
This is one that you've just got to be very sure of as you're moving. And it's a good decision by the base runners for Boerne on there to move up. They realize they've got enough room with that ball getting away. You've got to continue stacking these. Have to get a couple more men out there.
Greco fouls it straight back. Our first game matchup with the 2 Little Leagues that have won each of the past here in the Southwest Regional. Lamar in the pinstripes a year ago, Boerne in the black 2 years ago. A shot, Creation rips it to first base. Has moved over from third to man spot. These dudes for Lamar, they can play over there at short.
You heard Marcus Creation say it when we were talking to him over the course of the week, but it really feels like he's got 10-12 shortstops on this team, and you can slide anybody into that spot. This is his son, Madden. He's pretty smooth on the back roll, and a rifle across the diamond for out number 2. Out away from an opening round win for Texas East.
Martinez is the batter. A little bit of chin music from Easton Martin. Coming it from 46 feet away. Got to get those shoes tied. Second pitch also runs in to Casey Martinez. Boerne out hitting Lamar 7-5. And it's been loud contact, real barrels. But up until moments ago, not able to score. Well, they have punched across 2. Arkansas, Louisiana coming up. 1 local time, 2 Eastern. In there for a strike, hold that thought, Casey Martinez. 3 games here in day number 1 in Waco, Oklahoma. The lone team not playing in the 17 field. They'll make their debut tomorrow. A walk and pass ball, scores cute. Yeah, just make sure we step on home plate. Don't want the game to end on a missed home play.
Yeah, that's good on Merritt Cood there for realizing it looked like that step was just a shade ahead of home plate. 3 runs in here in this 6th, though. And you know, the story of this game, it really is what could have been if a couple of balls break just a different direction for Boerne at the dish. Still fighting with their last out.
And still what could be. This looks like a dangerous Boerne team. As Preston Baird, imposing figure, stands in, looking to get one. And keep in mind, they won the state championship. To get to this point, they lost to a really good team out of Lubbock in game number 1. Had to come back and beat them twice to win the championship.
And if this result holds, you have to think that that's what this team's going to be leveraging on, and what Greg Yost and his coaching staff can point to. Guys, we've done this, and we've done this recently before. It's a team that's built to make a run like that. You've got a stable of arms. We've been talking about some big bats, and as these guys are starting to get more and more comfortable on this stage, we'll see what happens over the next several days here in Waco.
A lot of baseball yet to be played. Meanwhile, 3-0 from Easton Martin to Preston Baird. 3-1. All the way back, full count. Three-two with 2 outs, trying to finish it. Not yet. Baird hanging tough. Love this fight.
Yeah, I was just thinking that this does not feel like game number 1 of this tournament, does it? This feels like a Sunday, Monday, let's try to get to the championship type of game. And if you take the scoreboard out of it, it sure feels like it.
And this very well could be the matchup that we see on Tuesday for the Southwest Regional Championship tilt, with a winner going to Williamsport. But still a lot of fight left in these Boerne Little League All-Stars, as Baird, with a really tough at-bat, is able to draw the walk to set up Chandler Schrammick. Marcus Creation now makes a stroll to the mound. And he's going to go to his son to close this one out. So Easton Martin takes over at shortstop. And it's going to be Madden Creation, a.k.a. Mad Dog. All arms and legs. Sit will try to close this one out. Madden Creation, the pitcher. Chandler Schrammick, the batter. Texas West has put up 3 runs here in the final inning, the bottom of the 6th, and still threatening with 2 outs and 2 on. Nasty off-speed from Madden Creation. Elevates the heat. And it's a 1-2 count. In play. Foul ball.
2 strikes, you're going to do anything you can to stay alive. I'm keeping it away from Lincoln Dubé if I've got any control over it, though, over at the hot corner.
Chandler Schrammick saw the movie Home Alone. Well, this is it. Don't get scared now. Hard hit up the middle, and Easton is there to make the play. Texas East opens up their quest to win the Southwest Regional in back-to-back years with a statement 10-3 win against a tough Boerne Little League All-Star squad that played better than this final score indicates, but that should not take anything away from the level that Lamar played at from start to finish.
No, just an unbelievable defensive effort from this Lamar Little League team. And we saw what they were able to do on the mound. They have the pedigree to get back to Williamsport. We'll see how they handle the rest of the way through the winner's bracket. But do not count out this Boerne Little League at all. This is a team that can swing the bat with the best of them.
Out hit Lamar 7-5. Just could not find the runs until it was too late, and they trailed by 10. So 1 game is done here in Waco. Everything leading up to the championship game on Tuesday, when we will send a team to Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Coming up next, it's Arkansas and Louisiana. For Conor 100, I'm Lord Galindo. Thank you so much.